Good evening, Symposia. As prophesied by yours truly, Matt Penna brought his comedy show Symposia back from hiatus. They had their first show back this past Friday. There is a show in 2 days. Here Thursday, there is a solo show by a comic. I caught just a glance at the picture on his Instagram. So if I'm using the wrong word here when I say, come see her perform, I'm 51 years old, get off my back. That'll be this Thursday. And then next Friday will be another standard multi-comic show. That is Matt Pena's Symposia. That's what he's going with. I mean, it's done. You know, the best thing we can do now is put aside our misgivings and get behind Matt and Symposia. So, you know, to be fair, I'm not saying it right. It's Symposia hyphen ha exclamation point, which would make that Symposia ha. Not a huge improvement. Okay. But anyway, so I checked out that show. This kid continues to impress me with his eye for talent. This was the kind of show you would pay through the nose for in the city. And I'm not sure I've ever seen a lineup that strong, even in New York. So Matt should be very, very proud of Symposia. Ha! I mean, not of calling, you know what I'm saying? No, he brought to this little book nook in our quiet little town this murderer's row of comics. Truly an embarrassment of riches. And I should define my terms here. Murderer's row, that's like an old-timey baseball reference. That just means everyone's really good. An embarrassment of riches is when you force more than one rich to say Symposia in front of people out loud. Oh yeah, Clark, you don't think Matt knocked it out of the park on that one? Symposia, you don't. Well, thanks for weighing in, Clark. At Instagram.com/ho_jokin. We'll defer to you. You're the expert at naming things. Hopefully in the future, Matt will run his ideas past you before pulling the trigger. I mean, if you got a branding savant right there, it'd be silly not to take advantage. So I was at the show, and a grand time was had by almost all. What happened was, and I'm making it sound like maybe I was in the show and things didn't go so well for me. No on the former. I was not performing, I was just there in the audience. Still managed to be the center of attention, and not in a good way. See, what happened was, one of the comedians was Palestinian. Not from there, just, you know, that he was of Palestinian descent. I don't recall him actually referencing the current unpleasantness. I believe it was just a biographical factoid, but he came out, he introduced himself and said, and you know, I'm Palestinian. And I started clapping. No one joined in, just a human metronome, doing about as good a job of that as you could expect from someone a few shades lighter than aforementioned Palestinian. And so it was, yeah, that was awkward. I was like, great, now they all think I'm anti-Semitic, or maybe a dryly sarcastic Islamophobe. And he did not acknowledge my faux pas. He might have thought he was doing me a favor by leaving it unspoken. Frankly, I could have used the off-ramp, you know. But now, which would have been risky, because if I can make that big an ass out of myself non-verbally, well, one can only imagine. So there I was, just plunged into this this netherworld where time, there in the room, it seemingly only lasted a couple of seconds, really over before it began. But in my mind, it stretched into eternity. In a way, I feel like part of me is still right here clapping. So I just sort of tumbled into a cosmic pinball machine where the bumpers and flippers have been replaced with Salvador Dali clocks. And while I was suspended there in this liminal realm, I said, you know what this reminds me of? And what it reminded me of was, and here I'm going to have to set the stage a little bit. There was a TV show back in the 80s that took America by storm. Who here remembers Solid Gold? Remember, you don't really have to applaud. It doesn't hold up terribly well. No need to clap for it. But hey, I'm one to talk, right? I'm not entirely sure, but I believe Solid Gold also had an exclamation point on the end.
Yes.
Which changes things going forward. I'll try to adapt. So now what would happen is the big rock and pop stars of the day, they would come to the Solid Gold studio and they would pantomime over their hit singles. And now modern music, the word live can be used loosely these days. But if you're going to a concert, there's a pretty good chance that a lot of what you're hearing is pre-recorded. Not as egregious as Solid Gold, because what they would do, they would play the album track as heard on the radio. So it would be kind of jarring sometimes. Like you'd be watching Thomas Dolby lip syncing to himself, but he'd also have to do the science. And you were like, wait, wasn't that an elder gent on spoken word ditties? But what I'm getting to is another thing about modern music to note here. Songs these days end. Not back then. Not in the 80s. No. Not once the FCC's "fuck you, you will take a slowly fading, repeating chorus and you'll like it" act was signed into law in, I want to say, 82. And so what would happen is, as the volume was turning down, the camera would push in on the solo actor band, what have you, and now pop songs top out at what, like 3 minutes and change. But you see, for them, it was eons and eons. Because much like in my situation, they just don't know what to do at that point. They're thinking, well, should I be strumming my unamplified guitar and with a progressively lighter touch? What am I supposed to say nothing of the poor drummer? And the vocalists. Oh God, the vocalists. Yeah, I mean, once the vocals have been potted down to nothing, they're just out there like, wait, there is no longer any sonic equivalent to these shapes I am forming with my mouth. At this point, I might as well just start screwing with whatever lip readers have tuned in. And will I ever be free of Marilyn McCoo and Rick D's House of Anguish? Or am I damned forever to this sick, twisted simulacrum? And then, just then, as they were about to snap, just when you could see that look in their eyes that said, hey, the the abyss is gazing back into me. I'm gonna try to get the abyss's number. Right then, that's when the solid gold dancers would swoop in. Is this my first mention of the solid gold? Guys, I told you, I will tell you when it's time. So these solid gold dancers would swoop in to save the day. You know, they would twirl in, you know, they drape themselves across the performers. And they would form this like a sexy, you know, pile-on. You know, they're covering the fronts of the performers, just a thicket of nubile limbs. Imagine a Spartan defensive formation. If there were any possible way for Spartans to be any gayer, and you know they're posing, they're around shoulders, and you know guys like this, and someone's down there, curled around Kim Carnes' leg, like Princess Leia on the Star Wars poster. And this, it kind of broke it broke the illusion a little bit, because it was then you realize, oh right, these are just people doing a job. Because when you would see them like that, you'd think, oh, okay, so as soon as they're done taping, they're all going to jump on the crosstown bus so they can go change into their Jellicle cat costumes. But that's how you knew that the ordeal had come to an end and they could rejoin us here in Euclidean space, and Dexy's Midnight Runners could finally, at long last, lay down their burden and their purely cosmetic fiddles. And which is all well and good for Kajagoogoo et al. I, however, do not have an army of feathered-haired guardian angels watching over me. There's no latex-clad hard bodies gonna bail me out.
Are you ready?
Unless Dana, Paul, more Dana than Paul here. Hold on.
I'll sit right here.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay. I'm just wondering. I don't suppose you guys happen to have any spare leotards around, or any leg warmers, a little over-the-shoulder lame job, nothing like that. Okay, then that doesn't help me at all. Then no harm in asking, but great. So I guess this is just my existence now. Just watching space accordion out in front of me as eggs lay chickens, and time ain't nothing but Langolier food. But wait a minute. Okay, I might have something. I actually have on my person some 80s signifiers. So if one of you could, do me a solid. That's it. If you could just do me a solid. If one of you, Paul or Dana, doesn't matter which, if you could please reach into my left back pocket and grab these fingerless gloves and this. I was hoping it'd be Paul. Yeah. And so
You owe me one.
and so if you could each put on one of these gloves, I think this might be enough to disrupt this torturous cycle. I can only hope so. Let's see if it works. Okay. Here we go. Maybe this will free me from the bondage. Here we go. I want you to hit that button. I'm thinking of kind of a Charlie's Angels meets Jazzercise thing. If you could just come in on me right here and like the solid gold dancers did. Oh God. Oh God. Oh. Dana, thank you so much. Paul, thank you so much. as much. Yeah, everybody give it up for Paul and Dana. All right. Okay. Yes. Oh, God.
All right, where's the cane
It
now?
doesn't work without the Aquanet. No! Okay. Man is moving right along. Yeah, I'm already halfway through my set.
Oh, my God.
All right, you guys ready to bring this on home? Ah, come on. Ready to land this plane? All right, big finish, big finish. Want to go out on a high note. Yes. Okay. Okay, here we go. Hey, you might have heard about this new no tax on tips policy put forth by both candidates. Anybody here a fellow veteran of the food and beverage trenches?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody ever wait tables and 10 bar? Yeah. Hoorah! Yeah. So you understand just what a windfall this would be for all of those service sector Symposium.
Great set. I love that.